What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and I just finished up watching Cassius Chaney versus George Arias, and this was a 10-rounder in the heavyweight division, and this fight was Thursday, December 2nd, from the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City, New York, and this fight was broadcasted on Fight TV, and in this fight, George Arias was able to get a split decision victory over Cassius Chaney. I personally scored the bout 97-93 in favor of George Arias, and the three judges scored the bout 99-91 and 97-93 in favor of George Arias, and one judge absurdly had the fight 96-94 in favor of Cassius Chaney. And just to break down the fight, I mean, almost every round was fought the same, except for a couple where both fighters were actually hurt throughout the fight, but yeah, it was really just George Arias coming forward and being the aggressor and being the one throwing more punches and just being more active. And that's really what won George Arias this fight. He was just so much more active than Cassius Chaney. And to give Cassius Chaney more than maybe 3 or 4 rounds is just absurd. There's no way he could have won 6 rounds in this fight. He just didn't do enough, especially in the last 4 rounds. He just didn't throw any punches at all. I mean, rounds 7, 8, 9, and 10, he legitimately didn't have any good piece of offense. But as for the rounds earlier, it was a bit more competitive. Like, after 6 rounds, I had it a draw because, I mean, Cassius Chaney did perform well early on, or I believe so. Maybe have had it like a 2-point fight. I mean, it was pretty close in my scorecard after like 6 rounds or so. But then, as I mentioned before, in the last like 4 to 5, George Arias really did start to just dominate and be the more aggressor, and Cassius Chaney, I don't know if he was tired or whatnot, but he just did not look good in those last couple rounds. But I mean, the rounds where we got to see some big action. I mean, in round number, I believe it was maybe the 5th round or 3rd round, I should say, actually, Cassius Chaney got hurt with a beautiful hook from George Arias. And I think it was a left hook that initially wobbled Cassius Chaney. It was sort of deflecting off his glove. Maybe it wasn't, but it landed somewhat on his chin, and he did a little chicken dance back, and Cassius Chaney was really hurt from that. And then he got wobbled once again after George Arias jumped on him with a right hook, I believe it was. He got buckled back again. But then in the 6th round, I believe it was, George Arias was backed up as well and buckled a bit with a right hand. It was a flush right hand that landed sort of to the nose and chin area of him, and yeah, he took a sort of awkward step and buckled his knees a bit and stood stiff, and George Arias was hurt in that moment, but he did a good job to sort of ease the offense of Cassius Chaney by moving around a bit, using his head movement, and Cassius Chaney did land a couple of more decent shots after that, but I mean, his offense was mostly muted after that from Arias' defense. And I just gotta say, George Arias did impress me. I thought he was going to lose this fight actually by a close decision, but still, I mean, he won here. I mean, he won rightfully. I think he should have won by wide decision actually. So, I mean, comment down below your scorecard for this fight if you did watch it, because I'm very interested to see if actually anyone gave this fight to Cassius Chaney. But, yeah, George Arias, he came in excellent shape for this fight. I didn't really know that George Arias' movement was really like this. I didn't know he had all this excellent head movement, even though I've watched him fight a couple of times. But, yeah, he looked great. He got a great win over an unbeaten heavyweight. This is by far the best victory of his career. And so what is next for him? I would not mind seeing him fight someone in the top 20, top 25 of the heavyweight division. I mean, I would want to see him fight someone like a Carlos Takam, but Takam is actually fighting Tony Yoka, so, I mean, we can't really see that fight happen. Maybe someone at the likes in the top 30, maybe a Brian Jennings if he's still fighting. Or, you know, I take that back. I mean, Brian Jennings is fighting in the Bridgerweight division now, but Brian Jennings would be a perfect fight. I would love to see that fight. But, I mean, I think Jennings is really going to challenge for that Bridgerweight title in the next coming months. But, I mean, I think he should fight someone, and this is for, obviously, George Arias, someone in the top 25, top 20, maybe top 30 in the heavyweight division. Who knows? Possibly, maybe he could fight Mike Balogun, who just got that victory over Trey Lippe Morrison in the couple fights before on this card, getting that first-round knockout victory. That would be a decent fight and possibly could happen, considering that both fighters are now coming off wins on Triller. So, yeah, what is next now for Cassius Chaney? I mean, he's fought before on a Top Rank. I believe he's actually signed to Top Rank. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. But, yeah, I mean, he's losing here for the first time, and he just really showed that his offense isn't that great because, I mean, he wasn't really able to do much aside from landing that nice right hand in the 6th round. I only gave him rounds 1, 2, and 6. Otherwise, he didn't really do much, and round 1 was a pretty close round, same with round 2, so it easily could have been 99-91, which one judge had it in favor of Arias. But, yeah, I think he's probably going to fight a lower-level opponent next, but in the next coming fights, maybe in the next year, he could fight someone in the top 25, top 20 in the division and possibly get a decent win. Who knows? But he's really got to sharpen up his offense and learn to throw more punches and be, I guess, at ease with his offense. And possibly get better defense because when he's fighting smaller guys, he tends to drop his hands a bit more, and that's really how he got caught with that hook. So he really needs to work on keeping his hands up and really just letting his punches go. So overall, I mean, George Arias getting this split decision victory over Cassius Chaney, although it should have been a unanimous decision victory, and he gets his 17th win and the best of his career thus far. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.